Hey everybody, it's Pete Carmasino here at Chaikin Analytics. This is the weekly video series where we kind of call out a stock of the day, kind of looking at the chart, seeing kind of what the story is being told, what we might want to do with it, or maybe where there's signs of this materializing prior to what this event that was just announced. Now, this is not going to be any surprise to anyone, but Apple announced an amazing piece of news last week on AI and a partnership with ChatGPT, OpenAI, and a lot going on there. Now, that stock was kind of trailing NVIDIA from a market cap standpoint, and has overtaken as a larger market cap now than NVIDIA has in just a few days, right? Just a few days trading, this stock has gone gangbusters. Now, the question is, that's on a lot of investors' minds is, should I try to trade this breakout? Should I chase this, or should I wait for a pullback? So we're just going to go over the chart, kind of see if there were any signs of things changing that we could have taken advantage of on the chart. And obviously, what you might want to do. What are your options at this point if you don't own the stock, or if you do own the stock? How can you take advantage of potentially what looks like at the beginning of their new AI cycle, which could have an incredible impact going forward if you are a shareholder. So let's just take a look at the chart and see what the chart's telling us. All right, here we are at the Apple chart here. AAPL is a symbol. I'm sure all of you know that. If I look at a 5-year chart, you can see this has really been in a range for a better part of a year and a half, almost 2 years, really, to the day. But really started back here in December 21. I sold off back to 127, got back to 180 or so, 200, back and forth, started a new range, and just recently broke out. Now, you're looking back and forth here. Our rating really has stayed either neutral or bullish during the course of the previous 52 weeks anyway. And that range bound setup was really around 195 on the high side and about 160 to 170, call it 165 to 170 on the downside. It stayed in that range, respected it. And then once it broke above this level, which was intraday, hard to really kind of nail that one unless you were working with lower time frame charts. I'm talking minute charts to 30-minute or 15-minute charts to kind of see that. Now, we don't offer that here at Chaikin, but we do offer incredible tools that show us what's happening in the directional side of this name. And really, we did have an uptick in the long-term trend. So you saw the downtrend here. You can see April 24th or so, back really into the beginning of April on that earnings report is when it broke above the long-term trend. Now, for me, when we use the charts here, that's really the first signal. If it's not above the trend, I don't even want to be involved in it. So was it significant? What happened? Okay, they beat by a few pennies, but was there any material changes in the earnings? So you do have to dive into sort of the reports and see what's going on. But from a chart perspective, money flow, this was a bit of a head fake. The money flow was negative. We did see this creeping up. This relative strength really is kind of sneaky, but it really moved up nicely. But when it broke out, right, let's look right here on the 10th or so, you can see maybe the June 11th, right around $200. We did get a signal that was telling us that the relative strength has changed. Now, when you see that happen and you see something go above the long-term trend, I'll tell you, it typically has something that's got momentum behind it. Now, the question is, do you chase it here or do you wait for a pullback? For me, the pullback should be somewhere around that $200 level. And that would only be about 11 points or so, 12 points. Now, if you want to risk that, that's something you could do. But at the same time, if you're an owner already, I think you're in good shape. But if you don't own it, you might be chasing it if you're trying to buy it above what we call our volatility bands here. But you do have a strong stock and a strong group, and it's the stock, right? It's the stock out there. People talk about Apple all the time. We use the products and have been, and a lot of people, love that whole culture, the Apple culture. And once you get involved in that, it's really hard to leave. It becomes an annuity payment for Apple in general. But you start adding AI on these phones. The question is, are people going to want to upgrade, pay another $1,000 for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is really going to be the only one that's available with this new AI feature when it does come out? That's the question, right? Are people going to want it? Is it going to be that significant? Right now, the market says yes, but if we get a pullback, maybe there's a better opportunity for you in the near future. All right, folks. So that's really what it is. Is it traded or faded? In other words, do you want to chase it here, kind of run after this big move higher, or do you want to wait? In other words, let it pull back, fade it a little bit, maybe not chase it. I'm not saying sell it. I'm saying basically wait maybe for a better price. That kind of looks like the opportunity here. But again, If you're an Apple lover, you're already in the stock, congratulations. If not, this is one to watch. And maybe starting to see, again, from that relative strength standpoint, we might see some legs here. Maybe Apple has a little bit more room to run.